Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Full Damage on the Mindcrack Season 4 server. Today, I am a happy bunny. It is working. The roulette machine is fully functional, nearly, 99% fully. Just some reset lines, like automating the entire system, basically, is what I need to do, but all the separate parts, I believe, are working. I've wired up the red, black, high, low, odd, evens. This is your low and high. This is your red and black, and this is your odd even, I believe. And that's that. And one important thing to note, I've changed these to a delay. The reset line here, for some reason, the pulse length that comes from a item sorter like that, which travels all the way down here and straight into this dropper here, that pulse length causes some kind of block update problem with this block. So this block doesn't actually dispense its prize back until you update this block by the normal updating something near it. Even if you power it, it's just a weird one of those little bugs that would rarely come up. But I put these on a 3-tick delay. 2-tick delay might work, but I just put it on 3 to be safe. I didn't test 2, but that's working fine now. These are just wired up like so. The stairs, there's a gap and all that stuff. I had to move some wires back here too. This wire here I had to lower slightly so I could work around it. This is this, which is nothing's changed there. Yeah, it's working. It's working. I'm mildly surprised that it's working pretty much right away. It is very lag intensive, so at the moment when testing it, I'm placing one bet in. If you just let it run and try and work your way up to the system, it's just so lag intensive. There should have only been one in there. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, we've put the bet into the machine. Hello. 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 I put the bet into the machine, so this block has come down here, which will... this is the prize turning off line thing. So then, if we come down this way, and test it, hup. If we hit this, boop, that will cause one of the random things to drop. We can go and watch it here. We can see which one will drop. This one. And then you should see all the lights happening, all the droppers dropping. This is where it causes some lag. It's noticeable. It's not game breaking, but it's noticeable. And then if we reset, all these turn off. Do that. Excellent. And we should see our prize dispensed back and everything sorted. Or our bet dispensed back and everything sorted. So it should be in here. Oh. Uh-oh. It's gone somewhere. Where that somewhere is, I don't know, but it's definitely gone. Okay. Okay. I don't know which one we made a bet in either. I think it was one of these. Which is interesting. Why would it disappear? It should be fine. Unless it's stuck in there. No, it's not. This is just to stop this chunk loading this chunk. It's not really necessary. This chunk won't be loading this chunk, but whatever. It's there. It's a thing. But it's certainly not in there. Hello again. Interesting. I'm going to have to work that out, but it pretty much is working. Now the next thing is to pretty it up. This is going to be a glass floor over here. I'm going to go with the same kind of look as that. The behind the scenes I want to make netherrack. I need to change out all this cobble to stone brick as well. Or not netherrack, nether brick, sorry. I also want to make it nether brick over here. So we're going to go with another test here. I've made a bet in the last four numbers here, 12, 11, 10, and 9. We'll see how that does. If we get 4 here, we might get 5 here. I've also swapped out this guy so it's not that dropper anymore. That may have been the problem. I could have been using a hopper or a dispenser instead of a dropper. Maybe. I've done that in the past. Anyway, let's give it a test here. Let's see what happens. Tell me if you notice any lag in a second. And okay, so it was one of the one we made a bet on. This is where the lag should be coming in. Good. Okay, so let's check our bets. Cool. Okay, so we got 4. So that last bet has just disappeared into the ether. Maybe I was using a dispenser. No, I've picked up a dropper. Huh. That is weird. Unless maybe one of these isn't full. But I'm sure it was one of these top 3 that I made the bet on. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that's the roulette machine. Like I said, just need to print it up, get everything working so it's all automated. The entire system, fill it with prizes, and then yeah, we're good to go, really. Alrighty guys, so I've come out here to Chester's Mill. We can work on the currency a little bit. This wall, every time I see it, it's just so imposing. I can't wait for it to be completed, if it indeed ever is. But it's crazy how high it is. Anyway, I'm going to have to dig out a whole bunch of sand here, and it's going to be hilariously fun, and you guys will not be able to enjoy it because I'm not going to record it. So I'm just heading back over to the castle here to grab some more sandstone. It's taking me a long time to work on the dome, or the art part of the dome, I suppose. I was going to dig it down a couple of layers further, so it was down at sea level. However, it's just taking so long. I've repaired my tools several times. I just can't be bothered anymore, to be perfectly honest. So I'm just going to cover it in sandstone, call it a day, start doing some artwork on it, because then I can actually open up the casino, which is the ultimate aim at the moment. So let's grab some more sandstone and see what we can do with that. So recently, me and my wife have been watching some Educating Yorkshire, which is a British TV show for those of you who haven't heard of it. We've started watching Educating Essex as well, which is like the prequel, I suppose. It's not exactly a prequel, but it's close enough to a prequel. Basically, Educating Yorkshire is a documentary series from Channel 4 in the UK, and they just filmed like fly on a wall in a school, a secondary school, for a whole year, and it's a documentary on what goes on in a secondary school. It's really good. From that it sounds really boring, but it's honestly really good. Educating Essex seems to be pretty good as well from what we've seen so far. We've only watched the first episode, but yeah, we've been really enjoying it. To be honest, it's definitely something I recommend anybody who actually goes to school watches, because you really see how much work teachers do for you. Well, like while you're in school, you see a teacher and they're like, okay, you've come to my lesson, you've taught me, and that's it, you're done. You've taught me for an hour, that's your job, go home, bye bye. But teachers do so much more work than that. It's crazy. Something I've thought about becoming is a teacher. Working in a college, actually, not a secondary school or high school, college, because people who go to college actually want to be in college, so they're easier to teach. Well, they're not easier to teach, but they're not making as much trouble, I guess. People who want to be there is people who I want to teach. Whether that happens or not, I have no idea. I certainly don't have the qualifications to become a teacher so far, but, you know, one day, maybe, I'll be teaching lessons. But definitely check out Educating Yorkshire. The whole thing is available on 4OD. For those of you who are in the US and Canada and such who can't watch 4OD, there are programs that allow you to. There's a Holler, I believe it's called, which I certainly do not use ever and do not condone you using, but it's I believe it's a VPN, virtual private network, and it basically tricks 4OD and BBC iPlayer and whatever, or any website to thinking you're in another country. But like I said, I don't use that, and you shouldn't either. But it's available for people who need it. There are perfectly legitimate uses for it as well. Like, if you develop a website and you want to test it in another country, then go ahead and do that. But yes, definitely check out Educating Yorkshire. We've also been watching a lot of The Chase as well, which is an ITV quiz show. It's actually come to America recently, I believe. Or coming to America. It's just a basic quiz show. A lot of quiz shows these days have some kind of gimmick, but The Chase really is pretty much like a step up from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like the classic quiz show that was literally just answering questions. In The Chase, you're answering questions individually, and then answering questions as a team to beat, and trying to get ahead of a quiz master, essentially someone who does quizzes professionally. For that's what they do, which is a strange job. I think. I mean, I can understand it in the TV aspect because you're winning money, but how else do you get money for doing quizzes anyway? I don't know. It's a strange profession to me, to be a professional quizzer. Something I could never do. I'm not very good at quizzes, to be perfectly honest. But this is what we've got going on here at the moment, under the dome. It's getting there, slowly but surely. Like I said, I'm just going to cover this area in sandstone and see what happens. I also need to get a whole bunch of sheep so we can do the wool. We're certainly not going to get it finished this episode. I was hoping to, but I need to get this rendering within the next half hour for it to go up on time, so unfortunately we're not going to get it finished today. So I need to get a whole bunch of sheep, basically cover this entire thing in white wool as well, cover the entire sandstone layer in white wool. This sandstone layer is just to have something to build upon, and then the white wool will just be a base color, which then I can change for whatever colors I fancy. Then get a whole bunch of the other wool. I want to have however wide this is. I'm not sure how wide this is. I can't remember. I think it's 64 by 64 as a map, or is it 128 by 128? It's one or the other. In fact, judging by how many stacks we go through for an entire row, we can determine that it's more than 64, which presumably means it's 128. So I want 128 by 128 white wool, and then I want that amount of every color as well, so I can essentially make any color I want out of the white wool, just as solid color across the entire thing. That's a lot of wool, though, and it's going to take a huge amount of time to get it. I'm probably going to go over to Seth Bling's place and just kind of go at it in his sheep farm there to see what I can get. But yeah, this has taken me literally all day to get this sorted. I did record a couple of other series, a bit of Hitman and a bit of Harry Potter, which I hope you guys are enjoying. I noticed they did get a couple more views when I didn't release videos for a couple of days, which is interesting. I think people tend to go back and watch older content if the content they aren't looking for hasn't been released. That's what I personally do anyway. If say I've subscribed to someone for just one series and they don't release that series for a few days, I'll tend to go back and watch some of their other stuff and such. But if you guys haven't checked out Hitman and Harry Potter, definitely go do that. They're some fun series. I feel like there's a baby zombie after me. Apparently not, because I can sleep. So good-o. And then I still have to build the dome here, which is just going to take forever, and using God knows how many resources. I haven't any idea. I dread to think how much resources it uses. But it's getting there. It's getting there. One day I will be able to create some pretty pictures. So that's another whole bunch of sandstone placed down. It hasn't made a dent. It's 256 stacks, actually, is what I've worked out, of each layer. So the sandstone, 256 stacks of that, which is about 5 double chests worth. The glass, which 1 covers a bigger area, and 2 is like 7 layers thick, or on average maybe 5 layers thick. That's a lot of glass. I can't even begin to calculate how much. How many stacks? 256 stacks for just this square. It's this square plus the outer edges times maybe 5, which is, I don't even know, maybe 300 times 5 stacks of glass, which is 300, 600, 900, like 1500 stacks of glass. That's a lot of glass. A lot of glass. I don't even know how to... this was a bad idea. This whole project was a bad idea. I don't even know. There's several people who have built maps on the server before as well, like or map making areas. So it's nothing new per se. It's just I decided to dig mine down however many blocks, which was a mistake on the first part there. I also decided to cover it in a giant dome, which again was a mistake on my part. I admit to that. Meanwhile, at the castle, I'm digging down a lake, which is easily another 250 area, or 250 stacks worth of area. At least it's got to be more than that, probably close to about 300, 400 stacks worth of area. I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, why do I choose these projects? And then, spawn, I'm building a giant casino made out of solid quartz, which is even harder to get. Yeah, okay. I've made many a mistake in my life, it seems. I'm going to grab some donator names quickly, because we've got some donators to thank, and we're probably going to end the episode, unfortunately. It's going to be a bit of a short one, but like I said, I've got to get this rendering so we can... Well, you can watch it, really. I want to get more on a schedule for full damage. Unfortunately, I've been lacking over the past couple of weeks. Anyway, let me get these names and I'll thank those people. So, to thank today, we've got Anthony T and Evan S. Evan S, one of our regulars, I believe. He's donated a couple of times over streams and such, which is something I'd like to get into. I think I talked about this in the last episode, though. It's just finding the time to do streams, both with internet, which me and my roommate have sped up now considerably. I'm getting much faster internet. We were fiddling around with some settings and whatnot. And also finding a time where I have the ability to stream and not have too much background noise, say if my roommate has his girlfriend over, or people are bustling around, or like at the end of the day, I want to, when I record or when I stream, I like to have no interruptions and no background noise. So if my roommate's in his room, that's absolutely fine. But then that's where he spends most of his time as well, so that's not a problem. But sometimes, like if his girlfriend comes over, they want to watch TV, or if my wife is not at work, then I want to hang out with her personally, because I don't get to see her any other time. Anyway, whoops, hit my mic. Anyway, that's enough of streaming stuff. I want to start streaming again, and it will happen. It's just finding the time to do so. But it will happen, I assure you. Anyway, Evan S, one of our regulars. Anthony T, I don't know if we've had Anthony T before. Well, we may have done. My memory is terrible, so don't take it personally that I don't remember you if you have donated. But looking through it, it doesn't look like we have Anthony T as a donator. But thank you very much, Anthony T, and thank you very much to Evan S for both of your donations. Very much appreciated. Link in the description if you too would like to donate. Donations go back towards the channel and such, microphones, recording equipment for PS3 and things, and games and goodness. It goes back towards the channel, basically. Anyway, I'm afraid it's a very short episode. Like I said, got to get it rendering, got to get it uploaded. Want to get back on the schedule really badly, especially with Full Damage. I've just been, like I said, slacking with it, which is it's through fault of my own, I suppose, and through fault of not being able to record again, background noise and such. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Like I said, just want to get back on the schedule. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. This episode has been very weird. And I'm just chuntering now, so I'm gonna shut up and end it. Goodbye.